Hi, long range hunting. Today we're going to be talking about custom rifles. Now, when it comes to the World Precision, everybody knows custom rifles are the best. Now, you're getting the best quality, you're getting the best materials, it's put together the best way, and with a combo of that of a good optic and good ammunition, you can achieve great things. Not to say that there's not good factory options like Bergara or RPRs, the Ruger Precision Rifles, and there's a few others out there, but they're not going to touch a custom rifle. The barrel, everything, your action, it's just all built to the best specs. And the nice part is you can customize it to you and what you like. Now, there are some downsides to custom rifles. The wait time, generally speaking, from most manufacturers, you're looking 6 months to a year. So you got to wait for that. Now, if you're sitting there waiting on a rifle, you want to have it for a hunt next year, let's say, you got to make sure you get on the ball so you actually get that rifle in time, because once you get it, you still got to do load development, you got to true your data, shoot to range, etc. So all that takes time depending on your availability of ranges and stuff like that. The other factor is cost of money. Customs, rightly so, because the amount of time, energy, and the parts are more expensive. So those can kind of be a downside, and I see a lot of guys go away from the custom rifles just because of that. They're like, well, I can pick up this factory one right now and go hunting with it. And so it's one of those things you kind of have to weigh. After running, I do have one factory precision rifle, but all the rest are customs just because I'll never go back. The quality, the accuracy, everything about them is just better. Now, there has been, in the last few years, especially due to PRS, there has been a lot of advancements and great advancements, from shooting bags to new optics, tripods, everything to make them shoot better in competition, and we can translate that into hunting. They're focused on accuracy and positional shooting under a time clock. Guess what? Most hunting, especially long range, is precision shooting in alternate positions. So, and again, under a time crunch. One of the best things that has come out of this, and I just got turned on to this, I've had buddies that have had it, but Impact got really, really smart, which this is an impact action. This is one of my customs. You see this all the time. But what they've come out with is prefit barrels. So these actions are held to such very, very high tolerance and specs that what they can do is they've given certain barrel manufacturers the specs of this. And what they can do is chamber a pre-fit rifle. So they're going to spin it up on an impact action, head space, everything's going to be good. And then you simply buy the barrel and screw it on yourself. That's literally what I did with this. So I got the barrel. This rifle actually started out life as a 308. You've seen it a lot in the videos. It had the spiral barrel. Now this one I didn't have built. I ended up planning on having this built actually this year, and then last year a buddy reached out to me that I helped him build this in a 308, and he wanted to sell it, and again offered it to me. So I ended up picking it up with the goal of switching it over eventually to a 6 Creedmoor, which again was originally what I wanted to build. And so here it is. Now the whole process only takes a couple tools and about 5 minutes if you know what you're doing. So very, very simple. All I did was break everything down. You've got your barrel vise here, and you simply put your barrel in the vise. You're going to take your action wrench and stick it inside the action. You're going to need your socket for that and a torque wrench in foot-pounds. And that's literally it. So I put the barrel on there, I screw the action on, I torque it to the correct foot poundage, slap everything back together, check your headspace. You can get a no-go gauge and a go gauge. and you're good to go. Now, this is a Studeville Precision, which they come with guaranteed headspace. So I popped this one on, it was good, and you can bounce it back and forth, you know, between actions if you have multiple actions or whatever you want to do, but it's very quick. So this one, again, was already built. This was originally built by Pierce Precision, and I simply did a barrel swap, and now I have a whole new cartridge and a new barrel. So if you shoot out a barrel or if you just want to change it out, you can do that. Now, I wasn't going to waste that barrel. Now, Nate, one of the guys that lets me go out and shoot and do these videos, he wanted to build a custom. I hooked him up with that barrel, and he bought an impact action that would fit it, and then simply got all of his stuff. He went with a foundation stock just like this, the impact action, that barrel, a Gen 3 Fat Bastard brake. He's ordered since then a bipod like this and a Arca rail, the Accuracy International magazines. He's got a Hawkins bottom metal. This is a KMW from Terry Cross. He also got a Trigger Tech Diamond, a flat trigger just like I did. So he got a sweet setup, and here's the pictures from it. Now, that is a gorgeous gun, topped with a Mark IV. It's a wonderful gun. Looks really good, especially in that stock. And I did it right here in 5 minutes. And I'm not even talking about just putting on the barrel. I was able to put on the barrel, put his trigger in, everything, and go to town and knock out the entire gun setup in about 5 minutes. And now he has a custom rifle. And so what it allows you to do is not only do you now not have to wait, but it saves you money. So you can, once you get your parts in, it's a few minutes to slap it together. The other thing, though, is the cost. You're not paying all the gunsmithing fees for them to put it together and go through the process. Now, if you know how to bed, you can, but honestly, stocks like this foundation, they don't require bedding. There's, you know, chassis that don't require bedding. There's stocks that don't. So you can get whatever you want. And if you choose to bed, you can, or have a gunsmith do that part, but you can put together a full custom rifle, a precision setup, by yourself in a matter of minutes, and you don't pay nearly as much. Now, another thing I want to point out, and it's the great part of this, is what a lot of these guys do. It used to be that if I wanted a 308, a 260, and a 6 Creedmoor, I'd have to have 3 guns. Well, 3 guns, what does that mean? That means I've got 3 different rifles I have to have built. I've got 3 different optics, rings, levels, or bipods, you know, Arca rails, I've put those. You have to get the full setup 3 times. Now, the nice part about this, you don't. As long as the bolt face fits, so I can jump from cartridge to cartridge to cartridge. So the same as if you shoot out a barrel and you spin a new one on. If I want to switch cartridges, you know, go from, let's say, the 308 to the 6 Creed, all I got to do is take off the barrel, spin the new one on, re-sight it in, and I'm good to go. The swap between the 308 barrel and this took me 3 shots to re-zero. Seriously, it was shoot, adjust, shoot, slip the turrets, shoot, dead on, done. So in 3 shots, I had a complete cartridge change, and I can use that. Now, if you want to switch, you can keep doing that, but it allows you to have one gun, one scope. So instead of buying, you know, what scopes you can afford to have scopes on every one, you can spend the money, get a nice Smith & Bender, a Tangent, a Zero Compromise, whatever you want to end up running, and get the best glass possible, and just simply swap barrels if you want to use a different cartridge. Let's say you're running a 5x47 Lapua, and you want to switch to a 6.5 Creedmoor because you want a little bit more powder and velocity for a specific hunt to raise your supersonic range. Well, guess what? You can do that. If you're going with a 6x47 and you want to go to a 6 Creed, or you want to go to 260, whatever the case might be, you can swap them. And if you want both larger Magnum cartridges and you want, short action cartridges, guess what? Now you can just do 2 rifles. Do one in a long action, one in a short action, and guess what? The possibilities are endless. You can literally do almost the entire array of whatever you want on those barrels, and in 5 minutes, your gun is a new cartridge. So this is a phenomenal option. And quite honestly, I'll never go back to the old way of having custom guns built, because realistically it's pointless. I'm going to be comfortable with this. There's no messing with the setup. You're going to be learning your gun no matter what you're shooting. The only difference is what cartridge is going in and how much you adjust. I mean, that's really it. Your drop and wind is going to change slightly, but you're using the exact same setup. It's cost efficient, it's time efficient, and quite honestly, it's a lot of fun to put them together yourself. So before you go and buy a factory rifle and, you know, spend a ton of money trying to get it up to the level of a custom, or you want a couple different rifles and so you end up spending a ridiculous amount of money on multiple rifles, when you could buy the best glass possible and just buy a couple barrels and you're good to go. You know, it used to be when you shot out a barrel, you'd have to send it in the gunsmith. So not only would you have to buy the barrel again, you'd have to also pay for them to chamber it, spin it on, torque it, the whole 9 yards. So everything they would have to do. So, I mean, realistically, you're probably looking $1,000 at just that. Maybe more depending on what you go with. But instead, you can just order prefits. Now, I got buddies that are running prefits. A lot of them like the proof, which are only about $400, honestly. Not bad price. I've shot them. They're really accurate. I really like these Studevilles, and especially since it's a guaranteed headspace. I mean, this rifle, doing load development. Now, I didn't really have the opportunity, just landscape-wise, to really get a good prone 100-yard. So I actually shot it off the truck with this bag, and these are the groups. I mean, it's shooting like that, and it's not like I'm prone or shooting from a bench. I'm running, currently, my load that I found is a 110 8-tip out of the 6 Creedmoor. It's going at 2995 feet per second, so basically 3,000 feet per second. And it's shooting sub-quarter accuracy. Averaged out all the different groups, and it came out to quarter MOA. And again, that's not from a bench or prone, that's shooting off a truck. You can get that type of accuracy and do it in your own home. You can do barrel changes in your own home. You can do everything. So before you go spending a ton of money, and buy once, cry once. It's one of those things, people look at the price of a custom action and they go, ooh, it's really not worth it. It is. Not only is the action butter, it's perfectly fit. It's going to function in all different kind of conditions. They're phenomenal. Now, Impact is not the only one that has these now. Stiller does. I know that. I think there's a couple others. I'm not 100% on what the brands are that do it, but I know that Stiller and Impact for sure do it. Now, I've got a Stiller action. It's a great action. Impact is by far my favorite. Great action. And honestly, it's an amazing setup. So just food for thought out there. I get this question all the time about, you know, going with custom rifles, and a lot of people go, ooh, until they actually get it, and then they never want to go back. So for those who are on the fence or don't find that they want to be more involved in putting it together, this is a great option. You don't need to be a gunsmith. You can do this. Joe Smo can do this. As long as you can run a torque wrench, you can do this. So everybody out there, I hope this has helped you. I hope it'll help you with your build processes and advancing yourself shooting. Everybody be safe out there. Happy hunting. Not that hard, people.
Hope you enjoyed this video. Make sure to hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and turn on notification bell so you won't miss out on any future video. And happy hunting.